All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another broadcast of Talking That Talk, official podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother, aka A Rising Pharaoh, aka Mr. Books, aka it's just a lot of AKAs.
Special shouts out before we get started to the homie Goodfella QP. We just wrapped up an interview with the homie. Interview will be coming out soon. And also a special shouts out to everybody that's tuning in via IG Live. And thank you for everybody that subscribes to the channel. So let's rock.
All right, guys. So on tonight's subject, when I asked, the topic is the price right, right? So this is going into how we look at things, right? Opportunities, let's say, like I said, opportunities, relationships, anything that requires effort for us to get there, right? We look at scenarios where it's individuals that be like, hey, they got there in one try. Hey, it took me about 2 or 3 tries. Is the price right? Meaning, like, it just goes along with, is everything how it should be, basically. Is where we at as an individual, is that necessarily the right price that we have to pay as of right now until we get there, right? In our lives, there's some things that'll take us one time to do, and we get done right then and there. For others, it might take 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or it just might not be there for them, right? So, I'm gonna give you a scenario right now.
Okay.
There's a lady, there's a young lady I know, and she always says, I'm the wifey type. I say, okay, cool, you the wifey type. We ain't never been married though, all right? So, it's always amusing to me when people say that. So, let me dive a little bit deeper into what I'm saying is the price is right, right? One man will look at her and say, you know what? I would marry this individual. One man will look at her and be like, hey, you know what? She's something to have fun with. And then one man will look at her like, you know what? That's somebody I can have, you know, that's something on the side I can never take serious, right? So the way we look at individuals, like I said, opportunities, is we already have the price in mind what we're willing to pay for that. So with that going into mind, I'll say I'll go ahead and pop it off for you, X. When you look at individuals, what goes through your mind if you look at one woman? You know what I'm saying? Are you looking at every woman on the same basis, like, hey, I would spend the same amount of money or time on them? Or is everybody prices different because they bring in more characters, more qualities, or more peace of mind when it comes to certain,
most definitely everybody price is different because everybody has a different value. Value could be based on, first off, it's based on the values that you're looking for, and it's based on how you value yourself. Okay. Only you know what's valuable to you and how it can apply to wherever you're trying to take it. Right. So, you know, one guy who I considered a mentor at one point in my life, he told me, he said, you know, like, when I want a woman, you know, I wear my Gucci shoes, my Gucci belt, you know, polo style shirt, nice watch, presentable. But he said, when I'm trying to find a hoe, I got my grill in my mouth, you know what I'm saying? I got on jewelry, you know what I'm saying? I know he knows first off what kind of value he's looking for at the moment. Right. And then he knows the magnetic field he got to step into to attract that value. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying, me personally, I value women that, like I always say, that have a brain, that have a natural vibe or essence about them. Because me, I'm into those kind of things. I'm into, you know, intellectual kind of conversations and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, the kind of woman that I would value don't have to be the smartest woman in the world or the room, but she does have to value self-education. We can talk about bank accounts, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the kind of guy that's too hell-bent on hypergamy, unless, like I said, a person really has a valuable character and personality, and I have to see potential, a lot of potential. So, so that's my value system on how I would value a woman, you know what I'm saying? But I would be lying on camera if I said that every single time in my life, I've always wanted that particular kind of woman.
Talk to him.
Sometimes I put my grill in my mouth.
Hey, what up, goddamn grill? Hey.
Going back to the oven, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Sometimes, you know, you just want something for the moment, and sometimes you want something, you know what I'm saying, that can extend over a period of time.
Yeah.
Even the shit that I want that's probably momentarily, it still got to be a logical person. It still has to be core values and shit that's intact, because no matter if you're looking for an extended period of time relationship or a quick whatever, it's still things that can come from that.
Right.
Health-wise and creating a life, who the fuck knows? But you still got to be smart with what you do. I always live by the motto, you are who you sleep with. You know what I'm saying? And we use these kind of philosophies, even books like Think and Grow Rich. Your sexual energy, how you use it, is going to determine how far, how successful you become in life. So hopefully I answered the question. You're going to look for the value in people that you first find value within yourself.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask that. What's up, Sage? That's all right there, my fault. So it's another thing that always came to my mind, right? We have self-evaluation. We put a price on, right? It's always people be like, yeah, man. I read this. One of the rappers said, you know, this pussy worth a beat. I like, you ain't even made $1 million yet. and it would blow my mind like that sometimes. That, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, the evaluation we give ourselves from actual reality of the presence is amazing sometimes, right? It's for instance, man, I remember going to a job before. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's the price right. Sometimes you could be overqualified and be cut underneath versus the motherfucker who just comes there and knows how to charm his peers. Mm-hmm. So basically, you have sometimes hard work gets overlooked over personality. You know what I'm saying? Or what they say, like, basically management skills. So I could title this is the price right, or I can always say, you know, self price versus reality price. That's how I'm really looking at it now. So, like I said, it's individuals, right? I was with a talker. I was talking to, in fact, I went out this weekend with a young lady, and I was discussing, right? We was talking, communicating, and I said a woman at her highest femininity will get me at my highest chivalry. She will get more of my time and more things that she has never had within a man, or she never experienced a real gentleman. So the reason why my price is like that is because I'm not gonna fucking be, you know, giving my time to somebody I can't have clear communications with, I can't cooperate with, who wants to throw fits and stuff, and feels like I still should be giving all my time to. It's like, no, your highest form of femininity will get my highest form of chivalry. So even when it goes into a relationship role, we can also look at, all right, you know, is the price right? We can also look at, let's look at sports, right? Mm-hmm. You can be a better player than the actual coach's son or daughter, but because they're in the favor of the coach, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they'll put their child over you, where you would have to work 10 times as hard or maybe 3 times as hard just to get some of that, what's the word, like some of that favor in your eyes, because they might be fixated on that child becoming the main star. I don't know if you ever experienced that in sports.
Yeah, but going back to the working scenario, man.
Hey, you go back to it.
Some people that run companies or that's in the supervisor position, sometimes, once again, the value at who they promote is going to be based on not how they value themselves, but what are they looking for. They may be looking for a hard worker to do majority of the ground level work, to keep everything afloat.
Okay.
And they might be looking for more so charisma to be another manager or supervisor. So it's not saying that either person, every kind of promotion work-wise is not based on work ethic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some people can blame it on whatever, but sometimes charisma steals the show. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people just favor people. But different people pay a different price even in the working field, because it depends on who you're working for and what they value. Now, if everybody value work ethic, that would be a perfect world, right? We don't live in that.
No.
So I would say to people that feel like your work ethic is not rewarded at work, there are other areas in your life to apply that same work ethic.
Correct.
You can go into something for yourself. You have friends and family and other people that you can add value to. So just because you're not valued in one place, it's not the end all for your whole entire life experience. There's still other places you'll be valued.
Correct.
So that's why a lot of people bring that work stress home, you feel me? Because they're putting too much energy into the place. I always say if you're not getting the reciprocity, of course you can't just say fuck your job, but at the same time, if there's no reciprocity,
You can say fuck that job.
you can, but I'm not telling you. Don't be coming on the next live.
Hey, you told me fuck my job, man. I've been on the streets, man.
You gonna feed me? Nah. He's saying that. But yeah, you're more towards reciprocity. And going back to the sports scenario, I've dealt with it a little bit in boxing. I mean, but it's natural. People are gonna favor who they favor, and they have the right to do so. If you got to work 10 times harder, then fuck it, put in the work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Everybody pay a different price. Sometimes that shit will make you a better person later in life outside of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like one of our last broadcasts, we brought out Michael Jordan. And we were saying genetically how he was the first person to excel at basketball in his family genetically. But a lot of people skip over, him and his brother were very competitive towards each other. And his father instilled certain work ethics within him. So all he did was take the competitive edge, the values that was instilled from his father, and apply it to what he chose, which was basketball. So you don't necessarily have to inherit the trait of being a basketball player just to use genetics to help you excel your peers. So going back to that, I would always say, man, even if you have to work 10 times harder just to get recognition or whatever, and even if you don't get it, whether it's a sport or a job, apply that shit to other areas of your life because it helps you build character. Whenever you have to work harder, you always should build character. Some people work harder and build hate. You don't want to do that. So.
I think he made a good example right there. So when he had said like work 10 times harder, you do want to be able to redirect that energy towards something else, to where the effort of what you put in 10 times is hard. You actually see even whatever is recognition, or you see some type of beneficial factor for yourself, where you're like, damn, I put in 10 times of work here and it never got seen, but when I did it here, god damn, huh? And now it's giving you that momentum edge to keep going and keep proceeding on in life. Because that's very important when he had said, like, when you go home, you stressed out because you put all this work in. And we understand that we all try to dedicate ourselves to certain things in our lives, and we might not ever see ourselves actually grow within that field or within that position. And we got to be able to take those type of same work ethics and apply it somewhere else, or even if it comes down to us individually, forming our own companies or businesses or something like that. That's the only way you can get things off the back and actually start reaping the benefits, right? Imagine somebody who had the potential to build a company to $1 million, but if he would have did it for himself, he could have built it to $10 million, right? Because there's only a set amount of skills that they'll allow you to input and certain positions within a, let's say, white collar position, right? For y'all who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and go off a little bit right now. When you're single and white collar, you got a cap. That's why it's beneficial that you're married and then they start putting you in different positions like regional or something like that, because now you're tied more into, you're basically showing yourself as a family man. It's responsibilities and stuff of that nature. So, like I said, I kind of dripped off for a second.
But that's good. They go back to presidency. We don't want no bachelor as the president.
No, you don't want no bachelor as a president? Yeah. Man, shit, that White House gonna be a slut house. Monica Lewinsky, everybody in that motherfucker gonna be.
Monica Lewinsky daughter.
Everybody in there. It's gonna be an orgy party at the White House, man. I'm gonna be turned the fuck up at that home. Alright, so look, let me get back on the subject. Is the price right? So, do you believe how everybody values themselves?
Like, is it real?
Is it real? That's what I'm getting at. Is it real?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
A lot of people be, they definitely cap when it comes to that. And some people rate themselves higher than what they really are because of insecurities. An ugly person can look in the mirror and just repeat I'm beautiful and have the highest self-esteem to everybody else on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And they can actually trick people into believing that's really how they see themselves.
Right.
But you don't know what that person do when they go home and they by themselves. They can break down. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people rate themselves higher to cover up something. Mm-hmm. And then some people just do it, you know what I'm saying, in a positive way, like Muhammad Ali. He said he was the greatest before he became the greatest. Mm-hmm. So now you still got the power of speaking things into existence, but you still have to have the work ethic. Mm-hmm. So if you can combine the two, then now rating yourself higher than what you are, it's not reality right now, but you can make it that way.
Correct.
But for the people out there that's like, you know what I'm saying, you want to look rich on Instagram, but live like shit at the house, and that's the most negative shit you can do. Because I get it, fake it till you make it to some people, mm-hmm. but don't forget the objective is still to make it. Mm-hmm. Some people focus more so on faking it, and they forget that. Well, some people just get complacent with that, because if you look successful, and we did this podcast before, looking successful versus actually being successful. Looking successful is easier. So I think that's why a lot of people rate themselves higher, and the shit's not realistic, but they cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
And then I also feel like certain people also put themselves on the basis of, like, let's say, let's just say hypothetically, you're just gonna say I'm a 10. I'm gonna say I'm a 10 as a male, right? No. I'll give an example. I'll give an example, right? All right. People will give themselves like these numbers, scale of 1 to 10 or something like that. Even though everybody else is self-opinionated, like people forget, like, at the same time, measure your face and all that. Like it goes really deep into it, right? That's why sometimes when I watch Kevin Samuels, like, he's really not saying nothing that's not familiar with what I've like experienced, right? Mm-hmm. I have been with my sister and her friend before. Mm-hmm. Beautiful woman, beautiful lady. She's definitely a 9 in my eyes. And I literally seen people used to stop her and ask her would they do a photo shoot. So I wouldn't say like, oh, okay, like she's like a 6. Like, no. Apparently, she keeps getting stopped every time we with my sister and her friend. So she must have a beautiful face. Like, it's not cap.
But see, value can be so tricky that there's some people out there that's not gonna rate you. Well, they can look at that same.
I'm going my face before character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people just might be like, that shit don't mean nothing.
That shit is not. That shit is nothing, B. She can't cook and clean.
Right. Some
her feet dirty.
Look good, cook and clean, and then still some people gonna still have their beats with something. So
it all comes with it.
But I respect what you're saying. If you do rate yourself a particular fashion, people should address you that way and actually give you that respect at some level. Not everybody, but at some level, people should give you that respect.
People will definitely, like, it makes sense. You know, what's that saying that women would do? Be like, look at you, then look at me. Does it make sense? Mm. That's that's all. You gotta, like, take in consideration of that. But at the same time, the flip side when it comes to a man, it's like, look at me and look at you. Does it really make sense? You know what I'm saying? Depending on how that man look, he might not be so attractive. He might not be this, but his caliber, his ethics, and what he has established. And, you know, like I said, men can take women who don't have nothing versus a woman looking at taking a man who doesn't have nothing, completely different. But at the same time, it's the beneficial factor we got to look and consider, right? That's why we say when the price is right, is the price right? Am I getting what I should get in return for me taking you in? Right, I remember.
Take me in, man.
Yeah, hey, look, man, I gotta talk, man. I remember there's a valuation skill. Kevin, I gave this young lady. He said, if everything you said, you're funny, you cook, you clean, how much would you say that makes in the market? She said $100,000, and like everybody bust out laughing. Even I bust out laughing when I heard it. I was like, how did you get cooking, cleaning, and being funny as $100,000 that you deserve $100,000 man?
Oh man, they feeling cancel you.
Who?
They feeling cancel you.
But I ain't getting canceled, man. I ain't getting canceled.
That shit,
but anyway, that's what we say. Like, is the price right? Like, are you making sure like shit makes sense at the same time? Price makes sense. You get it? You know what I'm saying? But before I get to ranting on too long, do you anything you want to add to the subject?
Based on that little note right there, like I say, everybody is gonna value people differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. Even going back to looks, I see it customary right now. Sometimes the bigger the woman, the less of the clothes I see sometimes.
Oh man.
And it's not a body shaming thing or whatever, but sometimes I think people can rate themselves higher even at dispositions. Sometimes dispositions, you know what I'm saying, make people feel like maybe they have to develop better character. You know, like if a dude he probably ain't got the money or the looks, so he like, shit, but I'm gonna be a funny motherfucker though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk my ass off. And that kind of energy is still gonna put him, you know what I'm saying, in positions to where he can attract more than what he actually deserves. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, man. I can give you a perfect example of what you just said right now. Shaq said growing up, when it came to marketing big men by his professor, they said he failed his test on business. They said like big men are not marketable. So he seen this commercial. I believe it was with I don't think it's Deputy at all. I forgot the name of the character, but he said, you know what? That's the trick. I'm gonna market myself as a big funny guy. That way, it's very noticeable, and people notice me. That's why every time you see one of Shaq's commercial, he's smiling, and it always has some humor to it. That's how he market himself. So where he's easy on the eyes for individuals to be able to recognize him outside of basketball.
Correct.
You know?
So marketing is very powerful, even if you're marketing a product and it's based off your imagination and confidence.
Imagination, confidence.
you still can magnetize people into giving you a higher value than what you actually deserve. You know what I'm saying? We see it all the time. We see hypergamy don't always work one way. Sometimes a lot of guys that don't have much going for themselves talk themselves into beautiful situations.
All the time.
We see it all the time. Now they got their feet up in a house that they ain't put $1 into, and that they not gonna put $1 into. But can't nobody tell that woman that man ain't got no value.
Ain't got no value.
The whole world can say he ain't shit, but she don't feel that way when she.
But guess what? The price is right. The price was right. She bought it.
And that's another thing we got to get into the conversation: buyer's remorse and happy customers.
There we go. Hey, look, 2 more sentences right there. Buyer's remorse and happy customers. You know what I'm saying? You thought the price was right. You didn't realize like there was an extra zero added to it when it was actually scratched off.
But if you happy with it,
you know,
smile.
It was, you know, she said $10. You thought $100. Oh man, buyer's remorse and what was the other one?
I was just say a happy customer
service. All right, man. Look, as you go out there into the world and you have your price adjustment or whatever you have as an individual, are you actually having the happy customers? Whether it's your friends, family, is there actually good reviews over the price that you're selling yourself for? Yeah. As you market yourself.
Yeah, I would say so, man. Of course, like, we want to do another topic. You can't please everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody gonna share the same experience with you. You know what I'm saying? A comedian once said, you know what I'm saying, some women may know him as giving them the best shit they ever had, hour plus time, and then some females know him for being 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So you're not always gonna be everybody's favorite. You're not gonna always be the best thing in everybody's eye. What I think applies to this part of the conversation is, what does the majority of people say about you in your personal life? Or how do they feel about you? Or even if they don't always feel or say the most positive things, do you wake up with the thought in your mind of, how can I add value to other people today? You know what I'm saying? I think the more selfless you become, you automatically add value to yourself, because you're constantly thinking of ways you could make somebody else happy. Maybe you had a shitty day. But at the end of that day, you're like, I'm gonna transmutate this energy. I'm gonna make somebody else smile.
Correct.
So I would say that's most likely how I live my life. No, I can't be there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You still a human being.
You sound like you got bad customers.
Nah, I'm being real. I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is human at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You put in your work hours, you grind, you hustle. You still got to put into yourself. You know what I'm saying? You still have to make yourself. Because you can't give nobody no energy if you running on a quarter tank or you on E. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to preserve your energy. But not everybody's going to get the best of you.
Not at all.
Everybody can't get an hour conversation from you.
Everybody can't get 100%.
Somebody can only get a couple of minutes. But it's not to say that you can't make that couple of minutes count. You know what I'm saying? So you look at any great leader, I'm pretty sure at some points of time, their personal lives was fucked up at some points of time. Maybe because they came over-consumed in their work. Who knows? But it's a lot of people that can balance it out. So I always try to balance my shit out. You know what I'm saying? My work and how I tend to other people. But of course, like I said, you can't be there for everybody, every single point. You know what I'm saying?
I mean.
But a selfish person is a selfish person, man. Like, a selfish person is not really going to add that much value to other people around them.
Selfless or selfish?
Selfish. A selfish person is not going to do that.
I mean, but at the same time, I feel like you got to know when to be selfless and selfish.
Correct. I'm talking about overall. You know what I'm saying? People sometimes, most likely, the pendulum swings to one side more than the other. So I'm saying, like, people that's more so selfish, if you constantly thinking about yourself, it's taking away the energy that you could be thinking about what can you do to provide for other people. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, okay. I mean, a little ramble jamble, doo-da-ba-doo-da. Look, man, look, I gotta be myself sometimes when you be, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be the funny guy, man. That's what I get paid to do, you know? All right, so even with that statement that you just said, like I said, when it comes, you gotta remember that even at the price you're at, there's always price adjustments. You can always be better, and you can always go up more, and you can always sell less. It's all about how you move as an individual throughout this life, right? That's why they say, like, a person who adds more value to people's lives tend to live happier lives and have more friendships. So, opposed to individuals who are selfish, kind of like, hey, he cool every once in a while, we might kick it with him. Oh, he died, shit, man, he was an asshole. Though. It's like the first thing that come out their mouth was something positive. Like that's the thing. Like when I like whenever I pass away, when that time comes, I want somebody to smile and be like, man, I remember that motherfucker was funny or something. Like even as he had said earlier throughout the day, like how do you go out there today trying to add value to people's lives? One of my things is the minute I leave my house, put a smile on somebody's face. Even if it's just me opening my mouth and smiling, I eventually make somebody smile. Mm-hmm. That's just my energy. You know what I'm saying? The more smiles you have, like it's how. Have you ever had somebody had a bad day and just smiled all day and shit? Like, yeah. It won't make
shit going on. They like, I'm still smiling.
I'm still smiling. Like, that motherfucker crazy, man. But you can't. It's like it's hard to have a shitty day with a person keeps making you smile.
But see, ain't that crazy? We call the person that's being optimistic despite anything crazy, but wouldn't that be crazy? Because you should be trying to do the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah, that's why when people be like, man, why that motherfucker all happy all the time? A lot of people like that too.
People hate the happy person.
They hate the happy person. Look at him.
Motherfucker always smiles. Something got to be wrong.
Something got to be wrong with it. Always coming in. Hey, Bob. Hey, Ted.
Right. Gibber. Yeah, that's a funny thing. So I guess a question I got.
What's the question?
In what situation would you be humble enough to pay a higher price knowingly than other people? And you can pick the scenario.
Okay, so when I'm willing to pay a higher price than normal?
Then, yeah, other people.
Okay, so, I'm willing to pay a higher price knowing that there's a possibility. I'm not paying a higher price without knowing there's a possibility, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's why when it comes to, like, even choosing your mate, I feel like it's important to know there's a good outcome if you shoot high versus if you shoot low. You know what I'm saying? I deal with like more professional women than anything when I go about talking, or dating. But I'd rather shoot for something like that at times than it is for me to just be settled with like the cash register person, like something like that, bro. The person was at the register or something.
But no,
it's just,
go ahead.
No, I'm going like you keep talking, man. Let me talk. Yeah. Damn, man. Disinfect my mic afterwards, making me sick. Anyway, I lost myself now, man.
I was just going to agree with you.
I'm just saying, like it's you want to. Whatever the reward is, if it's possibilities in going up, opportunities or like evaluations or it's just anything that can get me to the other side to where I can have more and less of, let's say I have more happiness and less stress, I'll take that opportunity. Like, I'll aim for that. So,
and the reason why I asked that question is because some people follow a philosophy, especially with dating, like, if you never had something, you have no right to kind of not value yourself at the higher level, but you have no right to sometimes even want more and or expect more.
Man.
And sometimes that's truly false based on, you know what I'm saying, what you just said. If it's everybody don't see the same opportunity in the same people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody don't see the
So
opportunity in the same people.
if you see more opportunity, of course you're gonna pay more.
Yeah.
Whether the person is demanding it or not, you're gonna always invest more if you see more opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that mean you're gonna invest the same things that someone else would? No, you're just gonna invest more than possibly what you normally would in a particular situation. Some people take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at first you couldn't come to the crib. Now you can come to the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people like first
like
I didn't pick you up. I'm gonna
pick you up this time.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's a process. Yeah. Like I like you. Now you sound like me, man. Now you sound like me, man. That's why I don't shack up. I don't play house.
You don't play house?
I don't play house.
It gotta be on paper?
Man, look.
Gotta be on paper before.
Like I said before, man, I don't play house. The minute I get situated with a woman and she moves in, I'm ready to make that move. Like, all right, let's see how we are for at least, 3, 6 months, 9 months. If we're compatible to actually stay in the same house, yes, let's go ahead and make this shit happen. Okay. Until then, I need you to wait it out a little, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need you to wait that out a little, baby.
Right. I'll pick you up.
I'll pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Look, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have me a little. I'm gonna have me a little charge. You bark off. You bark off.
Give her a draw.
Give her a draw.
Yeah, give her a draw.
Give her a draw. I ain't giving her no draw. Hey, look, I'm gonna have a check sheet. Like, just put a check mark. You get 3 check marks a week.
Oh, shit. All right.
I'm gonna need my space, man. I'm gonna need my space. But see, look, that's a little bit different from most people. Most people want to stay with each other, and then you know what I'm saying. Then propose later on. I'm like, yo, if you in the house, I plan on making you stay in the house.
Yeah, you gotta have a direction with it. You can't just do the shit just to do the shit because it's what you want to do.
Yeah, well, everybody stays with each other with their relationships. And you don't want to stay with me. Like, what's wrong? I thought you. Hey, hold on. Slow down.
He said,
when the minute we move in, I'm already planning the next step. I want to see how do we live together.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people jump to conclusions too much. Staying together, right? That's just like people who carry so much fucking debt on them, and the minute they get a relationship with like, well, yeah, you're my man or you my woman, you should help me when to take this shit. What we go? Wait, this was you by yourself before we got.
They go that French shit.
They go that bullshit.
And going back to that particular point of the conversation, man. If you do want more with somebody, like marriage and living together and all that shit, make sure you have more value than just simple shit. Like, you know how women say, I cook, I clean, I can do stuff around the house.
Rub my feet.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me stop.
Fellas, it's going to be more than just going to work and paying some bills. You know what I'm saying?
Going to work, paying bills.
It's deeper than that.
Smacking back. You got to do
smacking back.
Smacking back. Hey, smacking back. You got to say.
All right.
Hey, look, man, you got to do it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, everybody has different relationships. Mm-hmm. One of the main things I see, that's why I say, is the price right? Mm-hmm. One of the main things people can never get past is finances in a relationship. Do you understand? That's one of the biggest fucking topics.
And you said something powerful. They can't get past finances because they never started with finances.
Exactly.
Like, it was never about finances to begin with. Mm-hmm. So now you got this big ass mountain in front of you out in fucking nowhere. Mm-hmm. Nobody is prepared to climb it. Ain't nobody been exercising. Nobody's ready and prepared for finances because you didn't start there. So that's some shit you should have discussed at the dinner table after you got picked up.
Man, look, I had a
eating and drinking.
Good conversation with a young lady. You know what I'm saying? I like conversations. If I'm on the phone with you, because like I said, I'm really, like me and X, man, we always doing something, So I say that I can very much say he's very disciplined to the gym. I'm also disciplined of getting other things in my life going on, like more streams of income, studying shit like that. But when these conversations can last like 2 hours on the phone, 3 hours on the phone, you pretty much getting me locked into you because I don't be on the phone with people that long. But so like the other day, I had like we was talking about marriage, right? Me and this chick was talking about marriage, and I gave her a hypothetical situation. I was like, you know what? Let's say we're married. Let's go down the line. What would you want to discuss? And we did talked about the family structure, finances. Are you comfortable with getting a house or having an apartment? Would you like pets? Okay, how do you see? Okay, let's say we have kids. What do you see yourself like after you have your child? She's like, I want to take off for a year. I said, I 100% agree with that as a man. I believe after my woman has my child, like take off for a fucking year. So I do believe it 100%. I said, okay, what about finances? She was like, I like the idea of 30-70. I was like, okay, well shit, she's not really tripping on like saying what she's willing to commit to. Like she's putting it all out there.
Okay.
So, you know, I was like, in that moment, I was like, okay, I never, as much as I talk about 50-50 before, I never been 50-50 with a woman. Ever. Right? Even X will tell you at the time when I was in a shithole, I actually needed those moments when I was dating somebody, like to actually help pitch in. Never got it, and I still had to do it myself. So, you know, even on that basis, as me, like always leaning towards sole providership, it kind of hit me like, okay, this woman would actually have my back in case anything actually happened. I said, how many vacations would you want to have? Like, okay, I believe in like having one vacation with the kids a year and one by ourselves.
That's important.
Like I said, like it was crazy that we were so structured and we were just asking each other basic questions about how we see ourselves, like see marriage. And people don't even do that while they're in a fucking relationship or marriage.
Hey, we gotta talk about her after the show, man. But nah, that's powerful. I like the fact.
No, you can't have her.
No. I'm having fun
No,
with
we
shit.
can't have her.
So that vacation shit is important because after you take these steps, right, financially, now you got to discuss if it's gonna put any one of y'all into a bind or a budget. What is gonna be sacrificed?
Oh man,
And that's always gonna be the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too far fetched to be like, so you know how many dates idealistically? You know what I'm saying?
man. Like
price ranges, vacations, like he said. That way, everything's discussed up front. Finances is signed off. Now y'all can have.
That was exactly
experience.
what he just said. Was 100% what we said. I said, do you believe in separate accounts or joint accounts? We both believe in separate accounts and one joint account. I said, what's the joint account for? Joint account would be for bills, vacation, and emergencies. I said, do you believe in us both signing off on things that are getting paid? She was like, yes. I said, me and this motherfucker would work out. If anything, like we work out, like we already have that down to a T. Like y'all motherfucker, like a lot of people just is kind of like around the world, like in relationships. That's why if I get in a relationship, I'm very serious about it. That's why I don't play around with it. That's why I don't play house.
Okay.
That's one of the main things. It's like, hey, it is what it is. You know.
Right, and a lot of people end up in those financial struggles because you choose mates based off emotions and feelings.
Say again.
Emotions and feelings.
No, I can't hear you. Say again.
A lot of people choose their mates off emotions and feelings and not actual tangible things and logic.
Exactly.
And finances is part of logic and it's tangible. It's digital, but it's tangible. But you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are so far-fetched on Disney fairy tales and beautiful pictures. You know, some people want to live the life with their mate that they envisioned since they was like 12 years old and shit. Like, that's completely impossible because the older you get, the more you should mold your imagination.
You should realize
your shit should upgrade a little bit more with reality the older you get. A lot of people say some dumb shit to me like, I'm gonna go out and buy a car. I know how much money this person made. I know. And I'm gonna go get a Benz. I'm like, a Benz? You can't afford a fucking Benz. Well, it's only this and I got the money. Yeah, you got this lump sum of money and you can afford it, but you just looking at that one number. What about the maintenance? What about, you know what I'm saying, how long you plan on keeping this vehicle? What's the mileage you plan on putting on it?
Keep talking.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't look at relationships the same way. They just looking at it like, I always wanted this car, and if I could get this car, I'm gonna get that fucking car. But if you're not in a position to keep the car, maintain the car, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I like this whole notion of this quote-unquote 5% of the population. Only 5% of the population can invest a third of their income into investing and not have it affect their living at all. So they
Correct.
can put a third of their money on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and if it don't flip or flip, they still good.
Right.
I think people should have that same mentality with this conversation, make it applicable to dating. If you cannot afford everything that comes along with the car, even if it's your dream car,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to get something else that's a little bit more affordable. You know what I'm saying? Something that you can actually take care of the maintenance and the longevity. Because you should be in it with the thought of, like Nipsey said, shit's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people live their life in dating as fast sprints.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They tire out, but to some people the sprints was worth it, to some people it's not.
Uh-huh.
So you can take it on that.
No, I was just about to say, like, the main thing he said that if you're on my Instagram, you know I've been posting for like a couple weeks. I did cross comparison of vehicles I like, right? I just like the S550 Benz. I was like, man, it crossed my mind, and I seen it, like the inside of it. I was like, I think I want that car now. And if X will tell you, like, one of my favorite cars is the Porsche Panamera, right? So I did a side-by-side comparison of what it'd be like for the yearly maintenance. They both, one came out to 1232, one came out to 1231.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy part is the Porsche had way more maintenance updates and keep than the S550 Benz. So before I buy any car, I look at 100% the maintenance, right? I always say I want a work car, city car, luxury car. Luxury car is only on the weekends. So I'll be able to afford it for a whole year or two, but it's because I'm only riding on the weekends. So, but we have people that, for instance, I know a guy who's 40 years old bought a Maserati for $8,000, a 2003.
I was just gonna say
Yeah,
that.
2003. He just wanted. He happy to motherfucker. I got a Maserati. I'm like, man, you driving that old ass
If you
shit?
if you picking you up,
Bro,
you'll be like, yeah, I'm in a Maserati right there. You don't even know how it look because you don't even know how old. You don't even know how the 2003 version look. You're like,
Yeah. I like 2003. What's up, like? She was just making a comment. You never know what's going to be ready. Willing to take the challenge. Yeah. So he bought a 2003 at 40 years old. He's like, yeah, 100,000 miles. He's like, yeah, I'm Maserati though.
Wow.
He was, he was married. Now, had a split. He drove that car almost a month and then it fucked up. Had to pay $2,500 to get the transmission fixed. I said,
and
bro.
I think he was still happy to do
He was
that.
still happy. Hey man, as soon as I get done, I'm Maserati out down the street. I'm back on the road like Gucci.
Hey, look, if you can do that, I still respect you in your decision making, even if I don't agree with
Man,
it.
look, see,
I
look.
can respect that. If you still happy, I can respect that.
Man, look, that's why I be telling people, like, no matter what you make at the end of the year, always look at what you brought in. That's how much you made. All that fluff at the
Facts.
top does not fucking matter. It's right when they say after taxes. That's what matters.
You made $70,000 a year, but you got like $2 in the bank.
Man,
I got a problem.
yeah, I mean,
Come on,
look,
man.
like, I had told my homeboy, he was like, yeah, man, I made about $65K. I'm about to go get this Demon. I said, what Demon you about to get? He's like, a Dodge. I said, you know what they start off at? I was like, bro, they start off at like $75K, bro. Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, but I made 65, only like 10 more cash. I said, no, bro, you didn't make that. You made about 45. Did you actually look at the number below?
Bro.
That's what you brought in.
Money.
But
Go ahead.
you know what I'm saying? But people jump into the conclusions, you know what I'm saying? That's what we say, is the price right? You got to be smart enough to know where to put your money into and where not to put your money into.
I'm gonna add in on that.
Go ahead.
That is very similar to everything in life, even nutrition, right?
Mhm.
You look on the back of that label, you see 170 calories.
Uh-huh.
You don't get that
Man.
because in order for you to process calories, you burn calories. So in a,
Hey, talk to him, man. I had an icy earlier today.
in the process of eating is taking you calories to intake the calories that's on the back of that. So out of that 170, you're getting at least 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 calories less than what you see on the back of that.
Mhm.
So in life, value is always a mutual thing based on reciprocity.
Okay.
You always, to get high value from other people, you have to have high value
Right.
and disperse high value amongst the people that you're trying to get the value from.
Correct.
I know a lot of people expect the most from people that they never gave two fucks about. You hear all these millionaires get rich and they be like, yo, my phone blowing up. I got cousins calling me from Mississippi. I grew up in Texas. I got people calling me, blowing up my phone. I don't even know these people. And then once you don't give to those people, now all of a sudden your value is low.
Low.
So that go back to reviews. Not everybody's gonna have a positive review of you just because you're positive towards them.
Correct.
You could still get negative reviews and you don't deserve it. So don't get too caught up on the reviews. That's why I brought up, how sometimes big women wear less clothes. You feel me? And at the end of the day, somebody's hitting that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it flipped the scenario to where now smaller women are trying to get bigger. They flipped the whole reality. So, not to go off track, but if you want high value from people in your life, you have to add that same value to people. You can't expect some shit from people that you never gave them.
Price adjustments. If price adjustments was the other word, not evaluation, was the appraisals. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get things checked out. That's why it's very important. Like whether it's your individual friend, family, like make sure it all makes sense of what you want to buy into. Because everything somebody's selling ain't worth shit. That's why the appraisals is very much necessary there, right?
I got a funny place to take it.
You got a funny place to take it?
Funny place to take it.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Even in this value game, you feel me?
Right.
Let's say you one of those dudes out there that, or, you know what I'm saying, like, sometimes in parenting, people could have more value to other people's kids than they do their own kids. And it's not always a negative, it's just sometimes some people get more of you and sometimes people get less of you. But how people appreciate those two are completely different. You take maybe kids that don't have a father at home, you get a stepfather, you know what I'm saying? That stepfather could probably not even be responsible towards his own kids. But to that family, he's high value. To his genetic family, he's a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
You know what I'm saying? So you have scenarios where people can give their all to their biological kids and they don't appreciate it. And they could give less of that energy to other people, kids, and they appreciate it 10 times more. You know what I'm saying? Your auntie could be a superhero, but your mom that put food on the table and, you know what I'm saying, do everything for you could be a piece of shit. So value is a very tricky game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you're like two opposite plays. Our ex-cameraman said start giving him a free estimate. So
yeah, you gotta give him a free estimate for sure.
But what he says, like we said earlier, like your value in different places will always be different. Some might be lower, some may be higher.
But be humble to know that not everybody gonna see you in the same light.
It's like Sean, I don't know about that nigga, but yeah, man, I feel like we touched up on that subject. Is the price right? Is the price right, or basically, self price versus reality price?
Yeah.
Who's buying who? Does it make sense? I mean, anything else you want to touch up on that, or you feel like that's good?
Nah, that's good, man. Play the outro music. Most definitely lock into the channel, subscribe. Talking and Talk official podcast. Yeah, we out.
All right, peace.